I've already done here before. I thought I provided a pretty good example on how to do that. The whole scene was lit by just one single light. There's actually no others, just one, and it was able to give shadows with very minimal resources used. So before I show you how to do the actual making of the sun, I'm going to kind of go over some of the tools, the values that you can change on a light itself. So with the sun selected, obviously intensity here is going to be how bright your sun is. So the darker it's going to get darker, and the higher you put it, the brighter it'll go. And there's a couple I'm just going to skip because they're not going to be as needed. The horizontal FOV and vertical V are how wide the light is going to show. So if you decrease your horizontal and your vertical, you're going to notice that it's starting to get a very narrow light beam. If you go up higher, you're going to start seeing it getting much wider. Back up here. Okay. So next here, the shadow filter size. If you look at the shadow filter size, if you look at the shadows here, by this value, it'll be your detail of your shadows. So if you have it all the way down, you're going to get some pretty grainy shadows. But if you increase a little bit, you can start smoothing out the shadows to the point of almost being non-existent. So the shadow at 10, that's going to be kind of the ambience of the shadow. So if you have it all the way down, you're going to get darker shadow here. For it, but you can kind of see the shadows there getting darker when it's lower and lighter when it's higher. For a sunset like this, having a darker shadow is going to be more wanted. If you're saying it's like daytime, you might have more ambient light bouncing around, so you want to have that higher. Your min distance and max distance are going to be the points in which the light are shown. So from here, you can see that point right here is the min. If I increase that, you'll see, and I think the max is too far back to actually see, but if you can decrease that and set the how far it'll go to. Get back here. Okay. The volumetric intensity light will increase how strong that is. You can get some pretty crazy effects with it, but normally you don't want to turn that up. It just starts to look a little weird. Noise strength. This one is useful if used right. That is how much noise you want to give to the light, I guess. If, for example, if I turn it all the way up here, if I light time here, you'll notice the light shifts and moves. There's a lot of noise added, and it actually kind of animates the light a little. It'd be pretty useful. It actually comes default with a little bit on there, but it's if you don't want that at all, you can decrease it all the way down, and then no matter what you do, the light will have that same. I think having it up a little bit does have a nice effect, so it's not a bad idea to keep it up, usually around where the default is. Besides that, you have your colors. So like on here, I have a little red, less green, and almost no blue to give that kind of an orange-yellow effect. And then your positions. So there's other values here. Some of them you're not going to really ever have to worry about. But for making a sun, those are going to be the ones you're going to have to actually work with. So to try to recreate this effect, I'm going to disable this light plain scene. Luckily, this map already comes with the sky map having a sun there. That's just part of the map, so I kind of had to work with where it was positioned. I'll show you to make a physical sun in SFM if you need to. So we're going to, if you take the light and drag it onto the viewport here, you'll actually kind of take it over. So as long as you're in the motion editor and you have it selected, then you can actually move it around as that light. So right now the light's not going to be doing much. You have to be pretty close for the effect that you want. So we're going to start playing with these values, mainly making sure that so we're going to want to have to remap some of these. The max distance, if we increase this, it's not going to get up to the values that we want. As I showed in the last video here, if you change these values, so I'm going to say, it's going to probably be overdoing it, but let's just say that change the max to 300,000. Along with max, there's this far Z10, remap that to the same amount. The max won't work unless you have this up as well. So turn this far Z10 up, your max distance up, and now it should be stretching much farther. You can't see that though because the light's not bright enough. So let's turn the intensity up. So say